everybody, welcome back. I'm so happy to be here with you this week. And I had a couple outlines written out. I had a couple different topics that we were going to talk about, but I just wanted to kind of wing it today. I like to throw these episodes in there every once in a while. So we're going to wing it today. And in honor of winging it today, we're going to talk about winging it. So sometimes life just happens and we can't really prepare for it. We can't really we can have certain things in play, we can have certain things lined up, but we can't always expect the unexpected. Like sometimes things happen and we can't really anticipate on that happening. Like let's say our car breakdown and we have a very important meeting that we have to attend. That's something we can't really plan for. I'm gonna plan to make sure that my car breaks down and have everything lined up to make sure that I will be okay. And no, it's just not always gonna be like that. So sometimes we're just gonna have to wing it. And one of the best things that we can do as human beings is to become adaptable. When you can adapt on the fly, it makes life so much easier. It takes away that additional stress because you're not when you don't adapt well, it adds on an additional stress that can be avoided because when you're in that circumstance, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do that, blah, 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 blah. Versus if you can adapt, you already know okay, this happened, it is what it is, we're gonna make it work. And it's really about having a problem-solving mindset. I mean, honestly, being a business owner is all about winging it. Sometimes things happen and you're just okay, this is it is what it is. Let's figure it out. Let's problem solve. How can we get out of this situation? How can we resolve this situation? And that involves winging it and being adaptable and problem solving and having people around you that you can bounce ideas off of. Okay, our hot water tank went out. We can't really, I'm not sitting there planning for our water tank to go out, our hot water tank to go out. But since there's things on the back end that you could do. Since I have a great team, since I have great communication with my team, we were able to, hey, hot water's not working, boom, calls the landlord, boom. There's systems in place that you can have in place so that way you're not scrambling, so that way you are adaptable. Because I also enjoy my summer. I was at the pool when this happened. So mind you, I have to be adaptable. Okay, I got to take care of this for a minute because it's what I have to take care of. So you have to you have to understand that okay, I have to be adaptable in certain situations. I can't fixate on something and let it bother me. I just have to take care of it. I just gotta do my business and then let it go. Let it happen. Whatever it is, we're winging it and embracing the uncertainty and trusting the process, because those are the type of moments where God is testing your character. Okay, how much have you grown? Is this something that's gonna push you down 10 steps? Or is this something where you're gonna take it and you're gonna grow from it and you're gonna learn from it, and then I'm gonna bless you with more because you handled it well? And that's all about building your character. Sometimes we think that we're not getting something because God is just withholding it. But more so we're not getting it because we're not reacting well in the situations that He gives us so that He can see if we're really ready for more. So some things that we can do in those moments is just maybe one of the things that you can do is write out a step-by-step list of the things that need to get done, things that you need to take care of when something unpredictable happens. And this can calm your anxiety. This can calm the racing thoughts in your head of okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. versus, okay, I have a list right in front of me. I'm going to do this first, this second, this third, this fourth, this fifth, and it's going to get taken care of. When it comes to other aspects of our life, so, you know, we really talk about like mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial. We can take uncertainty into each aspect of those areas. So like in your mental, like you may be having an off day. What can you have in place to help you on those off days? Maybe it's taking 10 minutes to go to the bathroom to pray. Maybe it's taking 10 minutes to go journal. Maybe it's taking a 5-minute walk and just breathing and being grateful. There's certain things that we can do to make sure that we are, if we're having an off day, if we're having anxiety, if we're stressed out, if whatever it may be, we have those things in place and we know what we can do to get us back to homeostasis, to get us back to a balance so that we're not at those high peaks of stress, which cause so many other things to occur. And same thing with emotional, like maybe we're having a very emotional day. Maybe, you know, we just started our period and we're not feeling well. Or maybe someone in your family passed away. Like these are things that we can't predict. Like yes, you can predict your period, but sometimes it doesn't always like help. It doesn't help. So sometimes we can't predict for some things, and we just have to have these things in place so that we can know what to do. If you're having do you have someone that you can call and you can have them pray for you? Do you have someone that you can reach out to or will come see you? Or do you, like, what's your go-to scripture? Like having go-to scripture in specific moments is so key. Like I've started calling them like scripture, what was the word that I've been using? I don't know what, I can't think of it right now, but like key scripture that you can tap into when you're experiencing something. Maybe you're struggling with your finances and you're like, this is my scripture. I just want to say too, like if you have, you know, we won't always have a perfect plan, but sometimes doing something is better than nothing. Like you may not have the perfect workout plan. You may not have the best financial plan. You may not have the best spiritual plan, but doing something is better than nothing. Maybe you don't have a routine down with God, but reading one scripture a day is better than nothing. Maybe you didn't have time to meal prep this week, so maybe when you make dinner one night, you cook a little extra and you just do these things so to make your life easier. Like we want to, like I keep saying, we want to be able to adapt. We want to be able to help ourselves. Like we can't rely on other people all the time. We have to rely on ourselves and we have to rely on God. And we have to be there for ourselves. We can't, if we're pouring into people all the time and we're constantly pouring into people over and over and over again, but not taking care of ourselves, what makes us think that we're going to be able to continue to pour into those people when we're not even taking care of ourselves? That's why I always say, make sure you take care of yourself, because when you're not your best self, you can't help others become their best selves as well. Because it's important to focus on that first person, this person right here, that self-love. And it's not selfish. You have to be okay with you in order to help anyone. In order to step into your purpose, you have to be okay with you. And that goes with like trusting God. You know, we walk by faith and not by sight. Like that, we have to walk by faith. If we didn't walk by faith, we wouldn't have a relationship with God. It comes with faith, and then we have obedience and we have faith and we have trust. Like we have to trust God in these circumstances so that we can see him move, so that we can see him move in our lives, help us move in different directions in our lives, help us create momentum in our lives, help other people, help us step into our purpose. Like we have to walk by faith. Not everything's going to be like, oh yeah, I know that this is good. Like I know that I'm going to become a millionaire by 25. Like we don't know. It's God's timing, not ours. Like we can do the things to get there. We can do the things, we can talk to the right people, we can step out and do everything that we need to do to make it happen. But if it's not meant, and if it's not in like God's will, for me, I pray God's will over my will. Like, yes, I would love to be a millionaire by 25, but what is it going to cost me to get there? Versus if I do it God's way, what blessings am I going to receive to get there? And that's a very different perspective. And I would, if honestly, like, I'm going to need to rewind that, because I feel like what I just said is very crucial to like what I'm going through my life. And just a couple quick tips for embracing uncertainty is just, like I keep saying, stay adaptable and be open to change, because things are going to happen. Things are going to change. Focus on what you can control. If something happens during your day that you cannot control, don't focus on that, because you're just going to waste unnecessary stress. You're just going to waste unnecessary feelings on that. And it's going to cause you stress for no reason. So don't focus on that. Focus on what you can control. You can find something that you control in that circumstance. So focus on that. Don't focus on what you can't control. Keep a learning mindset. Always be in student mode. There's always something that you can learn. There's always someone that you can talk to about something. There's YouTube University that we can use. Like, these are all things that we can utilize, and stay in that learning mindset, because it will help you grow in these circumstances. And really just trust the process. Remember that you're not alone in this. Like, you have a community right here that will walk through it with you. They will help you. Like, reach out to me, and if I can't help you, I will find someone that can help you. And there's so many great things about having a community and having people that walk through things before you, so that when you're going through something, you can lean on somebody. You can be like, hey, I'm going through this, can you pray for me? Because life is not always easy. Like, we're gonna go through hard times, and we need people to help us. Like, God did not create us to walk this life by ourselves. Before doing this episode, I was so tired, but now I'm like, you know what? This is why I do what I do, because I love this community. I love getting to be able to share wisdom with you guys, and being able to share my journey and what I go through. And, you know, I'm just starting. There's so much room for me to grow, and I'm just excited to grow alongside of you guys. Like, this podcast keeps me going. It keeps me wanting to learn more. It keeps me wanting to go through situations so that I can share with you guys what I go through, so that we can grow through what we go through together. So the Bible verse that I wanted to hit on is Proverbs 23:23. Get the truth and never sell it. Also, get wisdom, discipline, and good judgment. And I think it's important to know, like, we want the truth. We want to have the truth spoken over us. So we need to know the truth. You need to know the truth, so that when you're scrolling on social media, you're seeing this or you're seeing that, like, you don't get swept under the feet of culture, and you don't lose sight of what is true. It's so important to know what is true. This is true. What God says is true. And it's important to also get wisdom. Like, I'm constantly looking to find more people who are wise and that I can listen to and can learn from, because they have so much to offer. They have so much to give. And when you go through something, you're gaining wisdom. And discipline. It pays to be disciplined. Like, we have to be disciplined in this life in order to receive everything that we want in our lives. And good judgment. We need to have good judgment of character. We need to have good judgment of the people that we're around, because, like we've said before, bad company corrupts good character. Do you have good judgment of people that you're hanging around? Do you have good judgment of the event that you're going to? Like, how are you? And I'm not saying, like, judging these people, because we're not meant to judge anyone, but you have to have good judgment within yourself. Like, okay, is this where I need to be? How do I know this is where I need to be? Can I be somewhere else? Do I need to put myself around other people? You need to have this good judgment, so that you can figure out where you need to be for what you need to do. So I love you guys. Sorry this one was a little short. We definitely winged it. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. We ran with it within this episode. I don't know. But yeah, I just felt called to share something within that. So if there's one person that's listened to this episode and needed this episode, I'm so glad that you tuned in today. And just don't forget to follow the Instagram at Steph_deal. Leave a rating and review if you learned something from this episode. Definitely reach out if you need to talk about anything. And don't forget to take care of yourself, because when you're not your best self, you can't help others become their best selves as well. Bye.